Today, I am sharing with you a delicious and easy holiday appetizer. These turkey meatballs are full of protein and flavor. Whether you're hosting at home or you need something to bring to your next potluck, I guarantee you'll be the hit of the party. Welcome back to another episode of What's Cooking in Worcester. For the Worcester County Health Department, I am nutritionist Kelly Williams. Let's get started. We're going to begin with a pound of lean ground turkey. Today I am using the 93% lean, but you can feel free to use whatever type you would like. To that pound of ground turkey, we're going to add 1 egg. We're going to add 2 cups, which is the equivalent of about a 6 to 6.5 ounce box of herb flavored stuffing. You can use any type that you like. And if you can't find the herb flavor, just get whatever you want. You do want the smaller style of stuffing in this, not the large breadcrumbs. So this is going to come together. It's going to remind you a lot of making other types of meatballs or even a meatloaf. We're going to add to that 1/2 cup of dried cranberries, and I'm using the low sugar variety today. Then we're going to season this up with a teaspoon of poultry seasoning. I like to use poultry seasoning in this because it is a great combination. You only have to buy and store 1 jar, but it has a lot of your savory herbs that go really well, such as sage and thyme. So you're gonna use about 1 teaspoon of this. However, if you have those spices and herbs individually already in your pantry, feel free to use about a 1/2 teaspoon of thyme and a 1/2 teaspoon of sage. To that, I'm just gonna add a little bit of salt and pepper. You can do that to taste, of course, but I'm using about a 1/4 cup of pepper and about a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Now, this is the fun part, and of course, you don't have to wear gloves, but if you have them at home, they definitely come in handy. Little tip for making meatballs at home: if you don't wear gloves and you find that everything sticks to your hands a lot, just keep a little bowl of cold water nearby, and you can kind of dip your fingers in that before you roll out a meatball, and that will help to keep it all from sticking to your hands. So I'm just gonna give this all a mix, and this is a great project. If you have kids in the house, this is a great way to get them involved as well. What I love about this dish is that it combines the flavors of the season. So we've got the savory, a little bit of the sweet element, and it's a really great holiday appetizer. It can also be made ahead. So when you check out your recipe card for what we're making today, be sure to note in the instructions there are techniques for baking it right away, for making it a day ahead of time and keeping it in the refrigerator, and even for freezing it. So it's really, really versatile. That looks pretty good, but I am gonna go ahead and give it just a little bit of low sodium chicken broth. And I only used a little bit less than a 1/4 cup. That's just to add a little bit of moisture. Remember, as this bakes, those breadcrumbs will absorb a lot of the moisture. We don't want them to dry out, and turkey is already a very lean meat. Okay, there we have everything nice and combined. I'm just gonna use about a tablespoon. If you have a cookie scoop, it works really well here too. You want these to be about the size of a golf ball. Not huge, but not super tiny either. They will shrink a little bit as they bake. You're just gonna form them up into a ball. I'm putting them on a cookie sheet lined with foil and sprayed with a little bit of cooking spray. Parchment paper works really well here as well. Okay, so we made about 20 nice sized meatballs here. And now that they're all on our tray, I'm just going to give them a light brush with some melted butter. This is just going to help them get a nice little brown, crispy topping. And again, doesn't take a lot, little goes a long way, and I'm just using this little silicone brush here. But if you don't have one of these, you could just pour it very lightly over the top. That turkey at 93% lean is not gonna have a lot of fat in it, so this butter is going to help us get a nice little brown topping here. And you'll see that my meatballs all have plenty of room around them. That's really important. Don't use a pan that's too small. You want a little bit of space on every side. So don't crowd them in here because you want them to be able to get nice and browned all the way. And again, we are using the oven to bake these versus pan frying, and that is going to save us some oil. So let's go ahead and take these over to the oven. It's preheated at 375 degrees, and we're gonna pop these in. And here we have it, our tasty, high protein and delicious holiday appetizer. They're nice and crispy on the outside, but I can tell you that they are moist and flavorful on the inside. If you want to spruce these up even more, they're great as is, but if you want to serve them with a little dipping sauce, you could use a little bit of cranberry sauce or jelly thinned out, or even some honey mustard that you could pre-purchase. So again, no matter how you serve these, they are going to be the hit of your holiday table.